I just want to thank everybody. It's an honor to be the head football coach at Missouri Southern. It's even a greater honor to be in the MIAA. I started my college career at the University of Central Missouri. I've known a lot of people in this league. It's actually pretty cool for me to have Zach Dickey introduce me. Zach Dickey played for me at Fort Scott Community College before he was the quarterback at Pittsburgh State. I've had several players go from that played for me in junior college, go on to the MIAA and have great careers. To be up here with Shemar and Levi, to me, this is my 27th year coaching, but this is their junior year. And I take every year really seriously because I know how special this year is to them, just like when I coached Zach, how special it was for him. So this is one of the best conferences in the country. I'm not saying one of the best conferences in Division II. It's one of the best conferences in the country. It's run well. It's exciting football. Every team in the league. It's hard to find a team in this league that doesn't take this seriously and invest and do it at a high level. Coach Brown at Fort Hays has done a tremendous job there of building a program, and I was able to see that while I was at Garden City, and to see what Northwest Missouri State has done with their program. My first coaching job ever was at Maryville High School, so I was able to see that, and it's just exciting to be a part of it, and it's my pleasure to be here.
Hold on, Coach, real quick. And student athletes, can you pull the microphones to you when you speak? Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
I've never been accused to need a microphone. I apologize.
No problem.
I can attest to that, actually. Now, does anyone in the crowd have any players or any questions for the players specifically? And if you do, again, please raise your hand, and someone with a microphone will greet you shortly. State your name and media affiliation, if you don't mind.
Jared Porter with the Joplin Globe. For Levi and Shemar, what have been some of the noticeable changes within the program since Coach Sims has taken over?
I would say just what he holds us to. Like, he holds to a standard that we work hard, and there's nothing less. He holds to finish every workout we do. We run. If we went to the 10-yard line, we go +2. So we always work hard, and as far as the coaching, just to play good.
Shemar said it pretty well. The atmosphere has completely changed around there.
Anyone have any other questions for the players? If not, please have any questions for Coach specifically.
Coach Sims, Randy Spear with the Warrensburg Daily Star-Journal. What was the first area you kind of assessed that the program needed when you took over, and how did you go about recruiting that?
I think expectation level had to change. I think 2019 Missouri Southern football has a higher expectation, and that doesn't come from Coach Sims. That comes from the Board of Governors. That comes from the president. That comes from my athletic director. I think Missouri Southern has made a decision that football is going to be important, and that it's an opportunity to show what a great university we have, and they've made a commitment to it, and so they've made a commitment to me and my coaching staff, and we've made a commitment to our players.
This question's for Shemar and Levi. Jesse Cordova, Newman and Duquesne. How is the locker room, from your experience, transitioning to kind of a new regime, bought into the changes that you guys outlined earlier?
I'd say the locker room's completely different because we have more people stepping up in like a leadership role to police other players.
Picking back off of what Levi said, basically we all want to hold each other to a certain standard, and if one of our teammates is not doing, or if we see them can do better, we're going to say something, and we're going to hold each other to the same standard.
Coach, I have a question for you. This is your first transition into Division II off of a very successful collegiate junior college career as a head coach, and you've had a history of turning programs around. You know how to do it in the junior college level. Do you put much stock into this being a different conference, a different division? What do you see as the biggest challenge to replicate what you've done in JUCO in the Division II world?
A couple things off that, Zach, is I was the head football coach at Mesabi Range Community College and took the offensive coordinator's job at Minnesota State Mankato. And when I did that, I took a group of players with me from Mesabi to Minnesota State Mankato. And about 2 months into the job, Brian Dalton, who was the leading receiver at Mesabi Range and went on to be the leading receiver at Mankato, walked in my office and he shut the door and he goes, "Coach, can I talk to you?" And I go, "Yeah, what's up, Brian?" He goes, "Coach, you're different." I go, "Different bad?" He goes, "No, just different." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You're just different here." I go, "Because we're at a different place." I respect coaches that have done a great job where they're at, but I think it's a real challenge to be able to go to different places and implement what you need. You need to find what fits at that school. I can't be the same coach at Garden City at Missouri Southern. What it takes to be successful at Missouri Southern isn't what it takes to be successful at Northwest. Every school has its own niche and its own people that you work with. And so I think the ability to have coached at different schools and been successful everywhere from Florida Atlantic to Garden City, I think that gives me a unique perspective on how to go into a school and identify what it needs. Our players need different things at Missouri Southern than at different schools. The players at Indiana are not the same players at Garden City, and the players at Garden City are not the same type of players at Missouri Southern. You know, and in my job, if you worked for me, one of the first things that I would make sure that you knew was what a coach is. And the definition of a coach is someone who can take you where you can't take yourself. My job is to identify what Shemar needs and take him where he needs to take himself. My job is to identify what Levi needs and take him where he needs to take himself. You know, our goal in our program is to produce service-minded champion graduates. And every single day we're working towards that. And the reason these two guys are up here is because every single day they're moving in that direction. Are we going to win the conference championship in the MIAA? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to win our first game. But I know tomorrow that we're going to get up and we're going to be the best version of the Lion football team we can be.
Coach, Jared Porter with the Joplin Globe again. I think you already touched on this right there, but what are some of the big picture changes that you've prioritized in your time that you've been here?
Well, there's a couple different things. Is when you know, I have a business background and in my education, and so there's a lot of things that I approach with our football program from a business perspective, and you know, we have an ROI statement and we have a culture statement, and for our guys, I look at when you join our football program that I'm supposed to work for you and I'm supposed to produce a certain type of individual coming through our program, and as I said, we want to produce a service-minded champion graduate. If you come and you're a part of our program, you're going to learn to serve others. I don't think there's any greater reward than helping someone else succeed. I love being a college football coach, and you know, I give everything I have to our players and to our school, and because I like seeing people succeed, I wouldn't be in this position. I was talking to a gentleman from Northwest who knew John Frangoulis when he was at Northwest Missouri, and John Frangoulis is a mentor of mine, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for John Frangoulis. And it's how coaches can affect your lives. And you don't know what you say to a young man that sticks to him. You know, I was talking to Zach, and, you know, he'll bring up stories about things that we did. Zach owns an insurance company. His partner is Brennan Green. Brennan Green is from Altamont, Kansas. Out of high school, he would have went to any school in the country that would offer him a scholarship. The problem was only Fort Scott did. He ended up playing for us and going to the University of Oklahoma. You know, so it's really awesome to be a part of that, and that's serving others. And so we want our players to understand that. We've done over 1,200 hours of community service in the time that I've been at Missouri Southern. We're doing that because I don't think people will care about us unless they know we care about our community. I ask a lot for our team, but I also ask a lot from our team. I think that your goal should be to be a champion. I don't know why you would participate if your goal's not to win. You know, so every single day we're trying to win. And when the guys talk about things being different in the locker room or at practice, you know, I want them to experience what it's like to walk off the field and feel success. And I believe that those habits are created so that they can be successful in life. And then I want them to graduate. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. I've been a part of that for a lot of young men. And, that degree changes a lot of things. And some people don't even understand that. The first thing we do with all of our football players is check their eyes and their teeth. Because when you come from a family that maybe your family didn't go to college, maybe your family's not making that much money, the eye doctor and the dentist are things that are luxuries. And so we want to make sure that our guys are graduating so they can change their future and their family's future. Insurance is a cool thing.
Coach, a lot of fans' introduction to you might have been the Last Chance U stuff. So just how do you feel like you were portrayed in that? And what would you tell fans that have seen that to kind of round you out a little bit, I guess?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that Last Chance U is a television show. Okay, it's edited for entertainment. The first year that we were on Last Chance U, they created a rivalry between us and Independence Community College. There wasn't a rivalry between us, and even the editing of interviews with me, some of those interviews were 2 years old. Jason likes to say that we had a fight when he left. That's not true. And I've stated that on Last Chance U about 10 times, but that doesn't get cut into the show. But what I want people to understand is that I work for the school that I work for. I work for Garden City Community College. And the opportunity to be on Last Chance U afforded us the opportunity to a $50,000 Adidas contract. And to some, that may not be a big deal, but that means that my guys have shoes. That means my guys have travel suits. That means that we have scholarship money. When I took over at Garden City, they lost their previous game 84-21. We played for 2 national championships. We had over 100 guys documented that went to 4-year universities. In junior college, I've been very fortunate. I coached 54 guys that made $204 million in the NFL. The reality is I work for my university and I work for my student athletes, and I'm going to do what's best for them and put them in a position to be successful. I would tell you this. Anybody that wants to know about how I run a football program, you're welcome to come to any practice. You're welcome to come to my office anytime. But I need you to spend some time with us because, when you watch a show like Last Chance U, there's nobody in America that Jason Brown has said more bad things about than me, okay? But I would tell you this. If you listen to his president, you listen to his AD, you listen to his student athletes, they say nice things about him because sometimes Jason was making himself the brunt of the joke for the betterment of the college. It's a television show, all right? And my job at Missouri Southern is do the best by Missouri Southern. And at Missouri Southern, part of that was painting the stadium this summer. Part of that was cooking pancakes this summer. If it's whatever the opportunity is to help move our players forward, that's what we're going to do. And, I'm very proud of what we do as a football program, because I get the opportunity to coach these 2 guys. I got the opportunity to coach him. And Levante David will make $9.75 million this year. And he's a guy who showed up to Fort Scott Community College with a bag.
Coach Kevin Ryans with KSN Local News in Joplin, Missouri. Just you mentioned before how your team, you wanted to be able from now on into the future to reach a higher expectation level. So what is the kind of attitude that you have seen from your players? What kind of attitude have you seen from your players to be able to going into camp and even during workouts that that you guys can be able to meet and even exceed those expectations that you guys are reaching?
What's hard as a coach sometimes is you take over a program and you ask people to meet a certain level. And their response back to you is, this is the hardest I've ever worked. And they're being honest. This is the hardest they've ever worked. But it's not as hard as they can work. It's not as hard as they need to work. Without being too corny, I saw a movie called Borg versus McEnroe. And John McEnroe was getting his hair cut by his mother. And John said to his mother, I scored a 96 on my math test. And she said, what happened on the other 4 questions. He goes, Mom, it was the highest grade in the class. She stopped cutting hair, walked in front of him. She goes, how big's your class? He goes, 14 people. He goes, but she said, the world's a lot bigger than 14 people. I've been very fortunate to coach Zach Dickey, who played for the national championship in Division II football. I've coached for four national titles, and I've seen 54 guys go from no opportunity to the NFL. So I've seen what it takes. So we're trying to educate guys and get them where they need to be so they can be as successful as they need to be. When I went to college, I had no intention of graduating from college. I had intention of playing college football. And my coaches tricked me into an education. That's what it's like to be a coach, is that every day you're trying to move these guys along. And, when we first got there, they were used to a certain way. And we've changed that way. And I would tell you that the first semester was hard. The best thing for us has been the summer, because we've had an influx of new guys who didn't know the old way. So now they just think this is how it is. And we're going to keep raising the bar, and they're going to keep working hard. We had the highest GPA in 7 years this past semester. We did 1,200 hours of community service. And we had 108 guys in summer school. So the reality is if you ask people to be their best, they'll rise to the occasion. And, that's just, we see great things in our guys. So we expect them to raise to that level and be the best they can be.
Coach, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're trying to do for Missouri Southern and MIAA, and Levi and Shemar. You guys look sharp today. Keep that up.
Thank you. Thanks, Zach.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you, guys.